Good afternoon. Welcome to Muskegon Rotary Club. I'm Dave Alexander, president this year. Honored and pleased to be here. Thank you for coming. Walk-up music today was Gimme Shelter from year 69. Oh my, we are so good. If we're going to do rock and roll trivia, I'm taking Lukens with me on the team. I must say it was written by both Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, and it was on their Let It Bleed album. It is my favorite live performance of all time, was the U2 version of it, and that was Gimme Shelter at the 25th anniversary of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame concert in 2009 at Madison Square Garden. Featured Bono, it featured Mick Jagger, Fergie, and Will I Am, and you got to go see that on YouTube. Our program today are our mayors, and we'll be hearing from them as the program goes on. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Darlene Collet will provide the reflection, and we'll do the four-way test at the end of the meeting. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Darlene?
Whoops. At the end of life, what really matters is not what you learned, but what you taught. What will matter is every act of integrity, compassion, courage, or sacrifice that enriched, empowered, or encouraged others to emulate your example. What will matter is not your competence, but your character. What will matter is not how many people you knew, but how many will feel a lasting loss when you're gone. What will matter is not your memories, but the memories that live in those you loved. What will matter is how long you will be remembered, by whom and for what. Living a life that matters doesn't just happen by accidents. It's not a matter of circumstances, but of choice. Choose to live a life that matters.
Thank you, Darlene. Thank you. Please take your seats. Continue with lunch, networking, and mingling. We'll be back shortly. Bring us back together. Would all of our visitors and guests please come to my right? And Tiffany will take care of helping you with your introductions.
All right, you want to go for it? Do you have your person?
I do.
Hooray! Right in between the lines there.
Good afternoon, Rotary. Today I have a guest that I'm very proud of. Most of you know one of my favorite gems of Muskegon is the West Michigan Symphonic Orchestra. And today I have one of the members in the orchestra staying with me this week. He is a violist, and he is going to be playing the Jubilee Concert, which will focus on Black History Month. And they will end the concert with my favorite piano concerto, which is Gershwin's Piano Concerto in F. And Josh has become a good friend, and it's fun to hear him practice. So that's the benefit I get. Help me welcome Josh Holcomb.
Hello, everybody. Today I have Jackie Huss, who is the Director of Operations at the Lakeshore Museum Center. And we were just talking, I think she and I are the two longest employees right now at the museum because she has 21 years this year. So she's been a while, and she does a little bit of everything. So she keeps us running and she keeps me in line, and we just wouldn't know what to do without her. So I wanted her to come to Rotary. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Heidi Seitzema, and I'm happy to have my guest, Lori Hausbeck, with me here today. She originally came from the Saginaw area, but chose to move to Muskegon, drawn by our beaches, and is now a city resident here in Muskegon for the last year or so. Since she's been here, she has gotten involved as a volunteer with our art museum, and she has served as a coach, did you say, for the Livability Lab recently, and then also is part of the Muskegon County Food Club initiative. She has a background in finance and chose our beautiful place to retire and make her next life. Thanks.
Good afternoon, Jim Fisher. I'm here today again with my friend Kippy Ellis. Kippy has been here several times. She's been to orientation, and we're hopeful the board will approve her application for membership in March. And Kippy is a realtor with 5-star, and I know her well from her day a week cooking at the Health Hut.
Yes.
Kippy Ellis.
Hi, everybody. I'm Pete DeBoer, here with my guest, Brittany Weed. Brittany was formerly at Women's Resource Center. They cut some funding, so she was upstairs from us in the Frauenthal Center, but unfortunately had to let go of that job, or they told her. I guess she didn't let go of it. But she is looking for other opportunities, specifically in the nonprofit realm. So she is fantastic, personable. So if you got any nonprofit opportunities, come meet Brittany.
Hi everyone, Emily Morgenstern. I have my coworker, Lieutenant Casey Bringadall at the Muskegon Police Department. He is in charge of our accreditation management as well as our crime activity and traffic team. I said that correct, right? And our mental health crisis team.
Hi, I'm Chris Nance. I'm a pending member. I was told I need to come up here, so being a rule follower, I did. Want to introduce you Sam Jansen. He's our city manager for the city of North Muskegon. He's been there a dozen years. Not only does he keep the trains running on time expertly, I also like to think of him as our cerebral horsepower. He knows A to Z on anything important to the city, and we're very grateful to have him.
Speaking of cerebral horsepower, we have our student guests from Ravenna High School. To introduce two of the seniors is Tia Filippelli. She is the counselor at the school.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thanks for having us. Thank you for lunch today. I have my two wonderful seniors here, Olivia Emery and Isaac Erler, otherwise known as Zeke. With the things going on in Ravenna right now, we have a team going to state finals for bowling, 6 individuals heading for bowling to states. We have 1 wrestler going to states finals. We have a basketball team going to the district championship. We have FFA going to state convention for next week at MSU, which I'll be at. I'm so excited. And because one of our the FFA chapter is heading to nationals. They place nationally as well. So that's what's going on. Oh, and also, we finally are getting rid of our principal at the high school. And he told me to say that because he's going to be our superintendent, which is well-deserved. So yes, we're sad and very happy for him. It was well-deserved. Oh, sorry.
Hi, I'm Olivia Emery. I'm involved in volunteering at the Frauenthal. I do Quiz Bowl, I do NHS, I play violin, and I'm part of our ELA team. In the future, I plan to go to MSU for either for either statistics or engineering. I have 5 engineers in my family, and I would love to continue it. And I also have a few friends who are actuaries, and I would love to try out that path. So I'm still deciding, but we'll see.
Hi, I'm Isaac Erler, or Zeke Erler. I'm also a part of NHS as well as FCA, which is Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I'm a leader for that. I'm a 3-sport varsity athlete. I have been since I was a freshman, so that's pretty exciting. I'm a part of the district championship team that will be going to the district championship. We won last year, so we're hoping to repeat this year. I am going to Lake Michigan College for baseball. I'm a catcher. I will be going for business management or construction management. It's up in the air right now. After my 2 years there, I'm planning to go to MSU unless I can continue playing baseball somewhere else. Go White. So I just want to thank you guys for letting us come.
So I know we went a little out of order today, but Jasmine had a meeting that ran late, and I didn't want to miss meeting her. This is Jasmine Johnson. She's from Habitat for Humanity of Northern Muskegon, also Kent County, and she is the Community Outreach Coordinator. So she's visiting with us today.
Thank you. Welcome all. For my Muskegon Minute today, I must admit that I am not particularly drawn to fine art or art museums. However, during my 10 years of downtown management in Muskegon, I mean, everyone's got their own thing, man, you know? And mine has been broadened, shall we say. However, now where am I at with this? During my 10 years of downtown management in Muskegon, I became a huge admirer of the Muskegon Museum of Art. With the dedication and passion of community leaders such as Judy Hayner and Frank Bednarik, I learned of a unique cultural asset that we have right here in downtown Muskegon. The MMA has taken huge strides with the opening of its expansion in 2025, the Bennett Schmidt Pavilion. It's a $15.4 million doubling of the museum that has taken the renowned institution to a new level. The West Michigan region has always known of the Muskegon Museum of Art, but now has a whole new appreciation for its commitment to the visual arts. Leading the MMA team and community supporters in opening the museum expansion has been Executive Director Kirk Holman. Our fellow Muskegon Rotarian, Kirk, was recently recognized as the 2025 Crain's Grand Rapids Business Newsmaker of the Year for Arts and Entertainment. Kirk and the MMA provide a foundation for the historic transformation of downtown Muskegon and our overall community. Kirk, you and your staff have brought the MMA to a cultural experience not found in many towns this size across the United States. Congratulations and thank you. And I am sure there is more things to come, such as the Art of Comics exhibit now on at the MMA. Thanks, Kirk. For our program, I am proud that the 3 mayors elected in November are Muskegon Rotarians or about to become a Muskegon Rotarian, and Roger Morgenstern will introduce them.
Thank you, President Dave. And as a side note, I was at a luncheon meeting yesterday, and I saw this photo of a Batmobile, and I'm like, where the hell is the Batmobile? And they're like, it's at the MMA, so I'm coming over, Kirk. So what really sold my kids on the MMA is when you had mini golf there a couple years ago. So anyway. So today we're going to hear from our mayors from Muskegon, North Muskegon, and Norton Shores, who are all Rotarians or just about Rotarians. It's a paperwork thing. I'm going to introduce one at a time. They're going to come up and speak here at the podium for about 5 minutes. What I would like to do is invite all 3 of them up to the fancy chairs up here. And then after I introduce you, you can come and talk for 5 minutes. I'll introduce the next one, and so on, and then we'll have plenty of time for questions. And I know even beyond Dave Alexander, there will be questions. So while if the three of you want to find a chair, don't fight over them. First, I'd like to introduce Mayor Ken Johnson. Ken is the 67th mayor of the city of Muskegon, re-elected last November with the highest vote total of any mayoral candidate in city history. Before becoming mayor, Ken served 8 years as an at-large city commissioner. A fifth-generation Muskegonite and proud graduate of Muskegon Public Schools.
Go Big Red!
He studied international affairs and political science at the George Washington University, then worked for a global media analysis firm before transitioning into financial planning. As mayor, Ken is active in the Great Lakes St. Lawrence Cities Initiative and was elected to its board of directors in 2025, serving alongside leaders from cities throughout the Great Lakes Basin, including Chicago, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Toronto, and Montreal. I think we have the best port of all of those. But Ken also collaborates with community leaders statewide through the Michigan Municipal League and its Urban Core Mayors Group. Locally, Ken is active in the NIMS Neighborhood Association, Muskegon Lake Watershed Partnership, Social Justice Commission, and the Muskegon Area Parks and Greenway Coalition. Mayor Ken Johnson.
Good afternoon, good folks. I am Ken Johnson, mayor of this magnificent city of Muskegon, and it is my pleasure to be here with you all. Thank you for that kind introduction, Roger. And thank you to all of our Rotarians for the work that you do day in and day out for the betterment of our community. The diligence and care that you commit to this community is so important. So kudos to you, and thank you for what you do, and keep it up. Now, we're asked to kind of give updates on or share where we're going. Part of where we're going, considering this is my second term as mayor and fourth term on the city commission altogether, is to kind of highlight some of where we came from and the progress that we've made. So that's why I've shared the 2025 annual report at each table so that you can review that at your leisure. Feel free to take that home with you. There's other copies over there. This right here, though, is a reflection of one of my commitments in running for mayor for the first time, was improving our communications and our community engagement. And so we created a community engagement unit in the city manager's office led by Deborah Santiago-Sweet. She's doing phenomenal work. And Cassie and that team who did this, created this. This is a very quality report and is a reflection of so much progress that is happening in our city. We have a lot more progress to make, a lot more potential to achieve and challenges to overcome. But I'm very happy with the progress that we're making and the team that we have at City Hall. So if I see our city manager here, if we have any other members of our city team, current or past, here, if you could put your hand up or stand up, we really appreciate the work that you are doing and have done for our city and our community. So thank you. Now, I only got a few minutes to speak on Muskegon and what we're doing and where we're going, and there's just so much to share. I can't get this in just a few minutes, especially knowing me as I can be verbose. But I'm going to try to highlight some key things, and one of which is a guiding principle for how I approach the work that I do and advance at the city, which is sustainability. Sustainability is the guiding principle, and it's not just environmental sustainability. It's social sustainability. It's economic sustainability. And those three pillars then support the fiscal sustainability of our city. And it's so important that we have that fiscal sustainability and that wherewithal so that we can navigate bumpy roads and economic downturns and the like. We've certainly been making progress there. I recall when I first joined the City Commission in 2014, the 5-year fiscal forecast at that time was for our general fund to be depleted, and we're on the road to insolvency. But our team at that time made some very critical decisions and jump-started development, and so we were able to turn the ship around, so to speak, and we've been building on that. And that's what this commission, which, by the way, we have, I'm going to note this particularly because this is Black History Month, but for the first time in the city of Muskegon, we have a black majority city commission and a woman majority city commission. So I'm proud to see that not only as our elected officials, but more of our city government is more reflective of the awesome diversity of our community. And that's something that we've been trying to do with regard to community engagement, but also making our city more accessible, inviting our community into their own governance so they can be part of the work that we're accomplishing. Now, one of the major strategies and initiatives that we've been doing that supports both all of the pillars of sustainability, environmental, economic, and social, is housing. We've been doing housing. As you may know, we did a housing needs assessment a few years ago showing that we needed 3,000 more housing units in a matter of 5 years. We're over halfway there, but we've got a lot more work to do, and we've been focusing on housing at all price points, from low income to luxury and everything in between. We've done significant zoning from, oh my goodness, I'm already at the 4-minute mark, and I have not gotten into barely anything. So I'm going to skip speaking on where we've been making great progress. I'm really excited about that. Not only housing, but also our economic development team is doing phenomenal work. And we've got a robust economic development team. And also we work with our neighbors and support regional development with GMED. And I'm happy for that collaboration and the work of our team there. We've seen last year $390 million in new construction value committed and processed and permitted. That brings our total over $730 million in the last 4 years, which exceeds the total for the entirety of the decade prior. So I'm really happy to see that continuation. It is exciting because I take particular joy in that because in 2021, when I first ran for mayor, there was this fear that, if Ken gets elected, all this development is going to come to a halt, Muskegon's momentum is going to stop, investment's going to dry up. But that has not happened. Our momentum has accelerated, and we're seeing investment more equitably spread throughout our city. So we need to continue that work, and I'm excited by the progress. But Muskegon, access to natural resources is really important, and the health and well-being of our lake is really important. So that's going to be a focus of getting a Muskegon Lake Watershed Management Plan done for our port development, building on what we accomplished at the end of last year with moving us forward with regard to strengthening our port operations here. I know I'm at my time. Mike's saying, shut it down. So review this. I'm happy to stick around and answer any questions and talk about all the great things happening in the city of Muskegon. And hopefully we will be moving forward with RX Kids program. We applied for that. The city of Muskegon has committed to being the community champion for that. We've applied for that. Hopefully we'll hear by the end of next month. We'll likely be returning here to ask some of you folks to contribute to that because there is a community match that we have to. But it's going to unlock millions of dollars in state resources that can support families and young mothers in our community, and it's so important. And so I'll be returning to that. That's going to help support the social sustainability of our community. But thank you again for all the work that you're doing. Thank you for having me here. And sorry for running over, Mike.
You can have that back, Mayor. Yep. Thank you, Mayor Johnson. Appreciate everything going on in the city of Muskegon. Next, we have Mayor Chris Nance from the city of North Muskegon. Chris Nance graduated from North Muskegon Public Schools. Go Norseman, yeah. I mean, I'm a sailor and I know that. Come on. All right. Earned his undergraduate and graduate degrees from Michigan State University. Thereafter, he worked at 3 different international PR firms, Ogilvy Public Relations in Chicago and Sacramento, Hill & Knowlton in Chicago, and Fleischman Hillard in Kansas City. He also worked for the California Forestry Association, California Farm Bureau Federation, and California Earthquake Authority in Sacramento. Hopefully that's not experience you'll need here in North Muskegon. The state legislature, and a deputy secretary for a state governor, and the White House press office. As a former reporter, I should talk to you. That's fascinating. After chasing his career around the U.S., he returned home with his wife and son to live year-round in North Muskegon. His wife works in Muskegon for Merrill at Bank of America, and his son is thriving as a North Muskegon public school student and athlete. Chris is now retired and volunteers his time as the newly elected mayor of the city of North Muskegon. I give you Mayor Chris Nance.
Thank you. All right, well, and thank you for the nice lunch. You know, what comes with speaking after lunch is the food entering your bloodstream right as you stepped up to the mic. So pardon any food coma challenges that are maybe forthcoming. So this election campaign was fascinating for me. I'm just 3 months into the saddle. I'm not going to pretend to know things I don't about how things work at North Muskegon. That's why we have Sam. But I do have lots of experience. You heard from my background that hopefully can be helpful. Also, more helpful than anything else was what I heard from people throughout my campaign. I made a point to sit down and talk for however long people wanted to talk about what they liked, disliked, and thought should be the most important priority for North Muskegon. Talked with 101 people, then did a survey, and so I think we've got a pretty good sense for what would not be my agenda, but what would be the city's agenda for how we go forward. And in doing so, knowing that I came in without needing a shovel, in fact, the city's very well run. My predecessor did a darn good job, serving 45 years on behalf of the residents of the city of North Muskegon. So it's a huge luxury for me to have coming in, notwithstanding the fact that we have all new tennis courts and baseball fields and pickleball courts. So what remains are things that I would call the next level. So to that end, number one, what I heard most from folks is they'd like to see us enforce our property maintenance codes. So to that end, what I would say, throughout all of my background, I've spent millions and millions on research, whether it's marketing, public education, issues management. What I learned through all of those is that it's the little stuff that matters most. So for example, if you're a doctor, people aren't second guessing whether you know what you're doing as a doctor, but they will second guess whether you're on time, whether the lobby's clean, whether the people at the reception desk are friendly. And so from a city of North Muskegon perspective, the way I like to think of it is we only get, or you never get a second chance to change a first impression. So when people drive through our town, it's got to look good. And there are varying opinions on how that needs to work, and we're sorting through that now. To that end, we're working with the high school. They have an environmental club, very active in issues around what I call pollinating patches and places where, you know, you can have your lawn be more wild than neatly manicured. So, you know, that could be somewhat of a wedge issue for some folks. But at the same time, we think that's pretty simple to get figured out, and we're looking to our high school to help lead the way in that. So that's kind of exciting. Secondly, in the name of our school, we're a small town. We've got 4,000 folks. I like to think of us as being 3 blocks wide and 3 miles long, sandwiched between, you know, lakes, Bear Lake and Muskegon Lake. There are just a couple ways in and out of our town. Growing up in North Muskegon was magical for me. It's why I'm back. It's why I was eager to have our son get to experience growing up in North Muskegon just like I did. And to that end, the school is a major part for us. Compared to colleagues also speaking today, our school's our #1 asset. We don't have big businesses in North Muskegon. So we got to make sure that school's got the giddy up necessary to sustain, to use Mayor Ken's word, our community. Because if that school withers on the vine, so goes the community. So I'm very proud of our school. They do a darn good job. Our son is thriving there. At the same time, what I said on the stump throughout my campaign is we got to be a top 10 school. We've been #1 in recent memory. So our school knows what it takes to be #1 statewide. But what I've been saying to folks is if I'm the chief sales officer for the city of North Muskegon, I can't sell a number other than top 10. So let's get the giddy up going and get back to a place that we know how to make happen. We're also at an advantage because our city and our school has the same boundaries. So for folks at in the chairs here, they don't have that same luxury. So for us, when it comes time to make decisions and integrate accordingly, it gets a lot easier for us to do. So that's a #2 on our list here. #3, economic development, again, for Norton Shores and the city of Muskegon. That's a daily business. In the city of North Muskegon, we're oftentimes referred to as, you know, a sleepy kind of place where people go after they're busy at work. But we do have opportunities for economic development. And again, I referred to Sam as our cerebral horsepower, to sit at the table listening to him talk about what he already has in mind and has in place with brownfield development this, downtown development authority that, commercial rehabilitation, enterprise zones. These are all programming opportunities for us to take into consideration for how we sweeten our offering in North Muskegon as a place to live, for your kids to go to school, and also for businesses to prosper. So that's going to be a big priority for us, in addition to working with the school however we can. You heard from my background that I've been busy working at the state and federal levels throughout my entire career. I lived most of my career in California. Very happy to be back here in Michigan. To that end, I worked for Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I like to joke about how he liked to joke with me. He always reminded me that I needed to work on my triceps because I have none. But that aside, I learned a lot about how the state works with local government to deploy local government funding mechanisms, many of which I've just described. And to that end, at the federal level, I learned about the importance of having our master plan aligned with the feds. And there are funding opportunities throughout all of our state and federal government activities. And to that end, if you don't ask, you can't get it. So we're going to get in the business of asking for more money. And to that end, I think we're very fortunate in the city of North Muskegon to have not one but two members of Congress. Moreover, we have a Republican and a Democrat. 4,000 people, 3 miles long, 3 blocks wide, 2 members of Congress at the House level. So we're going to take advantage of that. Doesn't matter what party's in power. We don't care. We're nonpartisan. We want to work with both of our members and do what we can to bring home more of our taxpayer dollars to the city of North Muskegon. And like Mayor Johnson said, I also have as a priority communication. You would think in a small town it would be so easy. In fact, it's not. In fact, in a small town, the rumors are more profound than anything else. So to that end, I'll close by saying, in the near term, you'll see us with a reworked brand that represents from where our community is coming, and ultimately in a way that enables us to say, choose us, whether you want to live here, have your kids go to school in North Muskegon, or a place where your business can thrive, not only in the near term, but for as long as we have the high honor of living on this planet. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Nance. Excuse me. Last but not least, because I have to admit a little bias here, I just wrapped up 9 years on the Norton Shores City Council. I think Mayor Nealon couldn't be happier that I've wrapped up 9 years.
Just for typos.
Yeah, I was the official copy editor of the Norton Shores City Council minutes. Yes. So anyway, last but not least is Norton Shores Mayor Gary Nealon. Gary. Oh, come out. Oh, was that Chief Vanderstelt back there doing? No, okay, all right, just checking. Is it review time? Yeah, okay. Gary is a lifelong resident of Norton Shores and a graduate of Mona Shores Public Schools. Go Sailors. He holds a BA in political science from Kalamazoo College. Go Hornets, right? Fighting Hornets. Whoa. All right, and a master's in public administration from Western Michigan University. I'm a Chippewa. He was first elected mayor in 2009 and was re-elected in 2013, 2017, 2021, and then again in 2025. I believe at the end of this term, you'll be the longest serving mayor in our city's history. Yep, he had more hair 16 years ago, I think. It is true. It's true. I've seen photos. If you go to City Hall, you see the progression of Gary's hairline. Yeah. Sorry. His current term, I just had to. His current term will expire in 2029. Gary also serves as the vice president of the Michigan Association of Mayors. Gary is married to his high school sweetheart, Angie Wasserman Nealon, clearly married up, and they have 2 adult children. Gary is past president of the Muskegon Rotary Club. He has served as board chair of both our local American Red Cross chapter and the United Way. He has served on numerous other boards and committees and is the current treasurer of the Muskegon Area Promise Zone Board and treasurer of the USS Silversides Museum. Mayor Gary Nealon.
All right, so yeah, thank you. It's fun to be at the podium again at Rotary. I was, I used to, when I was Rotary Club president, I started off every meeting with a joke, and it was really hard to find a joke that was politically correct and didn't offend anybody, and I had no luck on Google today doing that, so no joke. So we'll do that. I guess, Sam's here, and Jonathan, so you've got city managers. My city manager is busy, so he's at work, so he couldn't be here, so appreciate that. A lot going on in the city, so he didn't have time for lunch. So Roger did a great job, on the city council. Jamie Soa is back here. She's currently on the city council. I like to say I was first elected in 2009. I hadn't served on the city council before, that sort of stuff. And, really, you got to love where you live, right? And born and raised here, lived here my whole life, want my kids to stay here, want, my family's all here, that sort of thing. So instead of casting stones from the sidelines, I figured I might as well get involved. I didn't realize it would turn into, I had a three-way primary in 2009. I was unopposed in 2013. I was unopposed in 2017. I was opposed in 2021. I was able to squeak out 82% of the vote. And then I was unopposed in 2025. But my number one goal in this term is to find a successor. So I will be working hard. If you don't already live in Norton Shores and don't want to run for mayor, you can move to Norton Shores and run for mayor. But I will say the city was very well run before I got there. And I consider myself a little bit of the torchbearer, is just to continue on with that. There's some, not to bore you with details, but there's some stuff built into our charter and different things that require us to run very lean and do a good job. But I also, there's a city manager, longtime city manager years ago at the city of Norton Shores, who said that a community will continue to do well when it has land to expand, right? And as we see with some of the urban core cities, there's not a lot of land left, and I can see the future when Norton Shores is heading in that direction as well, right? So expansion is great while you have the ability to do it, but once all those blueberry fields are gone, and I hope to God's sake they don't all go away, but we'll have some issues that we have to deal with. We're just maybe a couple of decades behind what some of the other communities deal with. The city. We're quietly successful. City of Norton Shores. I was fortunate enough to be at the governor's State of the State last night, and you talk about Norton Shores, and you hear a lot. Well, where's that? Where's Norton Shores? Well, it's on Lake Michigan. It's between Muskegon and Grand Haven, that sort of thing. There's 1,700 and some municipalities of every level in the state of Michigan. Norton Shores is 81st, so we're relatively big, but we're quiet. We are fortunate that we have a very high tax base. We have the highest tax base in the county by quite a measure, which is good because we have a low millage rate. And so it's a formula as how we are able to generate the revenue that we generate. But as the others have said, revenue is always a concern, right? It's just like your home budget. We have more need than we have money in the checkbook. And so every year it's prioritizing, and sometimes people like what we prioritize and sometimes people don't. But it's an interesting time to be on the city council and to be the mayor, because not only is the city changing, but society's changing. People's thoughts of housing and how they want to live. Do they want to live in, we had a discussion just Tuesday night, do we start talking about moving up, vertically moving up, and we also had the conversation about the southern part of Norton Shores is zoned with very large parcels of property, and people like it that way. I tell people, on the Michigan Association of Mayors Board, that I'm the mayor of a city that has 8 miles of gravel road, and they're like, huh? Cities don't have gravel road. I said, yeah, and we allow horses and parks and, that sort of stuff. So we've got this kind of balance between rural and urban, if you will, and so we're always trying to strike a balance at the council, because you've got various interests and various things, and so we all do a good job of listening to the residents and what they want to do. So I think, part of the idea of this today was, what's the future? What are you looking for? And I think it's change. I think it's change for us. Change, not for the sake of change, but, balance change. But the demands on the city are going to continue to go up as, population grows. Norton Shores is about 25,000 residents. As population grows, that's great. As housing grows, that's great, all that sort of stuff. But I had breakfast not too long ago with the president of our fire union, and he was saying, you look at an apartment complex with 140 units as tax, I look at it as 140 units that we need to respond to. So how do we make sure that we've got the right people, the right response? So it's just change. Mike's giving me the hook, so I don't want to make Mike mad. So thank you, and look forward to questions.
Great. Thank you, Mayor Nealon. We're going to open up for questions. I think Dave may have a first one as a former. Yeah. And do we want? Can we
Okay,
just?
but this is easy, guys.
Can we just pass the mic?
One word. Give me an area in which these three cities, in your mind, can cooperate or consolidate.
All right. Public safety.
Okay.
That's 2 words.
2 words. I like it. Chris?
3 words.
3 words.
Local government funding.
Ken?
Public safety. And transportation.
The sheriff likes it. Other questions?
Chris, there's been discussion about bringing the power lines underground on Rudderman and some other places in North Muskegon. Is that one of the things you talked about with the 101 people?
While we'd love to have that luxury, hell no. It's way too expensive.
You want the former Consumers Energy guy to answer that?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry to have to be painfully honest with that answer.
I read where Muskegon Lake has been decertified as an environmental issue. What are you going to do to continue with that?
That's a great question. Thank you. Yes, Muskegon Lake was delisted at the fall of last year as a Great Lakes Area of Concern. And what that meant was in the 1980s, 41 bodies of water in the Great Lakes Basin were, in Canada and the United States, were put on the list of being the most polluted in that region. Muskegon Lake was one of them. But through community efforts and partnership at the city, state, and federal levels, we've been able to satisfy all of those beneficial use impairments, which led to the delisting. But it's critically important that we are vigilant in going forward. And also, just to keep in mind, that delisting does not mean Muskegon Lake is pristine. It's much improved, it's much healthier, but we still have work to do for remediation and cleanup of Muskegon Lake and the shoreline. But one of the key things that I'd like to accomplish, and would be in concert with my colleague over here in North Muskegon, as well as other communities throughout the Muskegon Lake watershed, that is get a watershed management plan done. WMSDC, West Michigan Shoreline Regional Development Commission, has worked to get that plan, to get grants for those plans for the past couple of years. We're trying a third time to get that grant dollars. If we do not get those grant dollars, I very much want us to move forward independently and pull the resources together as a community, as well as our municipal neighbors, so private, nonprofit, and public dollars to get that management plan done to help guide us for life after delisting.
I would just add Bear Lake's a part of that as well. And to that end, that's wholly funded privately. And as the new mayor, I'd like to see us work to a different place where we pull down public dollars, as you've done with Muskegon Lake,
Yep.
to make sure that lake gets cleaned up properly.
Nothing on the horizon, I would say, but it continues to have development, redevelopment around it, and watersheds. As they both know, I mean, they're not just the lake; it's the things that feed into it, the streams and the creeks and all that. And so there's, we keep an eye on it, and there's a Mona Lake Improvement Association, which is a private association which tests the water and does all that every year, and so we keep an eye on it.
Yes.
Thank you much.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Chris. Oh, wait, one more question. Oh,
what the heck? It's Jane. Let Jane.
Hey, I have been kicked out of better places than this. Just saying. She says it's true. Nice, nice. Gary, speaking of water, you talked about the development moving to the south side of your city, which is going to make more demands on water. Is the infrastructure for water and sewer going to anticipate that? Or if you rely on groundwater, what kind of measures are going to be put in place to protect the groundwater?
Yeah. So everything, I mean, there's a few houses, I suppose, with wells, but everything, we converted a number of years ago, connected to the city of Muskegon filtration plant. Has tons of capacity for the community, even excess capacity, I believe. So no concerns there, but that's part of the thing that we talk about with, we require in development if, subdivisions going in, that the developer is the one who's putting in the water and the sewer, that sort of stuff. But there's definitely going to be increased demand, but I don't think there's a concern about supply. I mean, I think we've got the ability, and, we love our Muskegon water, so it works just great.
All right. Thank you, folks. As somebody who for 34 years covered local government and for 10 years was involved with local government, I have more admiration for anyone out there in this time frame of our history that puts themselves out before the public. It is a very difficult job. Thank you very much for stepping up and doing it. Speaker's honorarium this year will be a Muskegon Rotary Club donation for supplies and materials used by our club members and youth from our Interact clubs as they take service trips to El Salvador and Honduras. And the International Service Council was meeting before this meeting, so they've got lots of plans going on for the next 6 months, and we'll be rolling those out to you as we get into our next Rotary year. Birthday slide. Whoa, there they all are. Jonathan Scoton, Cody Chipman, Logan Metcalf, Esther Rico, Steve Olson, Jason Kennedy, Jen Wakely, and Blake Kramer. I heard that musical note. There we go. Annette, thank you. Important that we have Caring Connection, and there is a $10 ask for your birthday gift to that Connection Fund. Use the envelopes up here. There's a QR code and is also in the rim each week. Rotary in action this week is Meredith Smiley. Michael.
My name is Meredith Smiley, and I am the Rotary Foundation Chair for the Muskegon Club. Our club has a foundation as well as Rotary International has a foundation. And so the purpose of both of those foundations is actually to promote the goodwill, the, providing grants that support the mission of Rotary for advancing education, fighting disease. So you want to know exactly where your money is going. So a $3 donation can protect an entire child through a vaccination for the polio pandemic. And so eliminating polio by donating $3, you vaccinate a child somewhere around the globe. For, $50, you can maintain water filtration throughout the globe in countries where foodborne and waterborne illnesses are still prevalent. And $200 will actually provide livestock for victims of, natural disasters. Big or small, your donation makes a huge difference around the globe. And so you can choose when you contribute to the Muskegon Rotary Foundation or to the International Foundation. And so, like I said, $2, $50, $200, we will take it, and we will use your contribution to the way that you want to see it used, whether it's locally or globally. No amount is too small. I have always felt called to Rotary's mission after serving for the last 30 years as an advocate for children and families. I have worked with at-risk families my entire career. And so I really found that the foundation work and Rotary's mission have truly aligned with my own personal and professional passions. And so that is why I do what I do for the Rotary Foundation.
And as announcements go on, we will find the ways in which we can support those philanthropic services of Muskegon Rotary and Rotary International. Mike, you want to give beginning of the announcements some words that we had talked about?
I was pleased to spend a little time with Ed Hendrickson. And I think it's significant that you know he is now in hospice care, but he is at home. And he would like to see folks. Deborah, his wife, shared this information with me, and I'm not going to put it out on the internet, which is where we go, as well as in this room. But if you would consider visiting with him between 1:30 and 4:30 in the afternoon and would text his wife to confirm your arrival, and that it would be just wonderful, and you can get that from me, por favor.
Thanks, Mike. You were there yesterday, was it? 2 days ago, meeting with Ed. Ed's heart is with you, and I know our heart is with him and Deborah. So keep them in our thoughts and prayers as the life journey continues. Those having announcements, either with Rotary information or Rotary events, please come to my right. You have 2 minutes. I will say this a couple of times here. Next week, we are at the Lake House. Lake House next week. Rotary Rewind scheduled to have its meeting March 5, Thursday, Core Plaza Vault, and that's usually starting at 5:15. Here's one. Your last chance to participate in the District 6290 District 50/50 raffle is on the way out of the door. Tickets right there. Mr. Roger will have them. And if you give him $20, he will give you a ticket one of there. So, please do it. This is for the annual fund of the Rotary International Foundation, which will receive half the proceeds. The other half go to the winners in a pool. The last year, the top winner received $1,200. Tickets are only $20, sold after the meeting today. And after today, we are done. We will then be having a drawing at the Pels Conference coming up next month. I'm happy to announce that your Muskegon Rotary Foundation Board of Directors is making a $2,500 donation to District 6290 on behalf of Brianna Scott for her contribution of substantial legal work in finalizing our club's participation in the Seaway Run. She has asked us to give $2,000 of that towards the district's student exchange program. Dom will like to hear that. And $500 towards the district's Polio Plus Fund. Thank you, Brianna Scott. Those are funds that are coming from your Muskegon Rotary Foundation. Thank you to all the Rotarians and interactors who spent the last Saturday morning in a joint service project with the Grand Rapids Club supporting work of Feeding America West Michigan. We repacked pasta, tons of pasta it seemed like, and the agency's distribution center for food banks and food trucks throughout the west side of the state and the Upper Peninsula. Feeding America provides food for our food truck efforts, and the next one will be on April 22nd. Aaron Bozart will have plenty more information as that comes near. Grand Rapids and Muskegon will have another joint service project later this spring with work in developing our second microforest at the Muskegon Lake Nature Preserve in North Muskegon. Details on that project to come. Finally, I am thrilled that we are part of another West Michigan Rotary collaboration, a literacy summit Friday, March 27th at Trillium. Here is some more information. And we'll let Melissa gets to come to the top of the line. Melissa, tell us about what we got going.
So on your tables, you will find a flyer with some information on how to register to join us on the 27th for the Literacy Summit that is being hosted by our Rotary Club in partnership with Grand Haven and Spring Lake, as Dave said. So why should you all attend and spend half a day on a Friday with us? Let me give you one reason. So last night I was invited by Governor Whitmer to attend her State of the State. If you heard that, you heard her spend a great portion of the beginning of her presentation on literacy. Right now in this country, Michigan is 44th when it comes to K-12 literacy. That's just our K-12 students, not our adults, not our pre-K. There is work that every single one of you can do to help become part of the solution. So this summit is about education, understanding the depth of the issue, but also a call to action and figuring out what each one of you can do. So if you're a business owner, let some of your employees come. If you're part of a club, send some members. If you're an individual, come on your own, but we would invite all of you to be a part of that day. Super excited. And I have more of these if anybody wants one to bring to work or something.
Hi, everyone. Again, I'm Heidi Seitzma, and I'm here with an announcement from the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. We've all had the experience of a story and the power of a story to, whether it's a book or a movie or a conversation with someone, to open our hearts and challenge our thinking and allow us to step into the shoes of someone else who's maybe different from us. And the committee is really excited that there's an opportunity over the next several weeks to engage in stories of our LGBTQ+ community members and beyond in 3 different ways. And there's 3 different groups doing 3 different things, all of which involve Rotarians, which is also kind of cool. So I missed that, if that was an actual thing. So the first one is on your table coming up on Monday, March 9. There is an event called LGBTQ+ Stories, Joy and Challenge in Faith Communities. And that is a panel discussion with 5 local members of Jewish and Christian communities, including, I see Morgan, her daughter Addie is going to be one of those, and Addie has been involved in Rotary programs before. It's going to be moderated by Susan Harrison-Wolfus, and it's presented by a group of 11 local affirming congregations, many of whom are led by Rotarians. So it's a free event. You do need to register. It's required. There's a QR code on the back, and there's also information on Facebook. The second event is, there's nothing on your tables this week, but I think next week there will be. But Adam Bell, who is a member of Rewind, is presenting a play through his Actors Workshop on Friday and Saturdays, March 20, 21, and 27, and 28, and it's called Play It Straight. And it's a new play set in a public high school which requires school administrators to notify parents if a student begins using pronouns or names or gender identities at school other than those assigned at birth. It's, quote, intense, deeply human, and incredibly culturally relevant. And proceeds from the first night of that are going to Muskegon Pride as a fundraiser. There's general admission and student pricing, and there's information. If you just search Facebook for Play It Straight, you'll find that event. And then the final one is on April 13, and the district library, in conjunction with Muskegon Pride and Muskegon Community College, are bringing in an author event. There's something on your tables for that too. It's a talk with Curtis Chin, who is the author of Everything I Learned in a Chinese Restaurant, and I'm about halfway through it. It's a really enjoyable read. It's his memoir. It traces his experiences growing up Chinese American in Detroit, balancing humor, heart, and the lively world of Chung's Cantonese Cuisine, which is his family's restaurant that fed people from all walks of life in 1980s Detroit. It's his story. It captures the complexities of coming out as a gay Asian American, his years at U of M, go blue, and then his later work as a writer. And so that is also a free event, I believe, right, Sarah? There's registration, a link, a QR code on here, and I think there's going to be books available here next week just for Rotarians if anyone wants to check those out. So that's it. Thank you from the DEI Committee.
Heidi's a little taller than I am.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. Don Bunker, representing Youth Exchange and all kinds of other really fun different things. Just a heads up, if you've ever been interested in Youth Exchange, our committee is meeting tonight at 5:30 p.m. at United Way. We have a lot of really cool, exciting things, and there's going to be more people from the committee giving announcements in the next couple of weeks. So if you have ever been interested, come find me, talk to Amy, talk to Meredith, any of us. We'd love to be able to have you. But also, John Nolling is not here, but we are really excited to announce that we will be working on both microforest locations for the Day of Caring. But if you know anything about John, John can recruit like a wild man, and he has already found all of the volunteers that are needed for the microforest. So I have an ask, because this is a community of movers and shakers that know what's going on in their local communities and might have some ideas, but we are looking for local projects. So if there's something that's been in your community, or you work with a volunteer organization or a club and you're like, I really wish we could knock this out, but we just need a team to do it, we would love to know. You can go to the United Way website to be able to nominate a project, or just hit me up. But we're just looking for some really cool spaces that we can be able to make a difference in our community and go with our service above self.
And I'm a little taller than Dom. So I am back pushing March Madness, go blue. And there are sign-up sheets on your table. $100 will get you into the March Madness bracket. You could win a coveted Paul Harris Award, and I would absolutely love to fill out both the men's and the women's brackets. So I am looking for 64 brave Rotarians, and that $100 can be used, like I said in the video, locally or internationally. Just let me know when you sign up how you would like your donation used. Thank you.
I'll lower it for you, DJ. Sorry. Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. Aaron Mikey, and I just wanted to update you on a project that we're doing at Baker College in partnership with the YMCA. We have a Feeding America food truck that we're doing at what we affectionately call Lot 5, the Large Farmers Market parking lot. We did that first food truck this Monday, well over 100 people, super impactful. We're going to do that every other month for our first year. Two things. One, if you'd like to support it financially, that would be awesome. Two, if you want to help us out and distribute food, Jamie Soa, back in the crowd, contact her. We'll let you know those dates. And then I'm happy to say I spoke with President Dave and upcoming President Roger, and they're going to discuss a potential partnership with Rotary at the March board meeting. So thank you for that as well. Really excited. Big impact. The first car in line was an 89-year-old woman, so really, really impactful. Would appreciate any help you can provide.
Thank you, Tall Aaron. So Gary and I are here as buddies.
And ruggedly handsome.
Ruggedly handsome.
And you'll have a chance to maybe join us being even more ruggedly handsome.
You may not know this, but Gary is growing a beard.
Started last year.
but in the spirit of literacy, we're here promoting the United Way Beards for Book campaign, which supports the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. And I see in this room there are men with no beards that can grow beards for money.
Yes.
And there are men with beards who can save their beards with money.
Yes. Yes. Or they can shave it off.
Or they can shave it off.
Raise money, I'll shave my beard.
And ladies, you are not off the hook because our own Dom, a few years ago, raised money to color her hair, and it was beautiful.
It was, I don't know what the pattern was, but it was unbelievable.
Gorgeous. So ladies, you are not off the hook. You too can be a champion for Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. How do they do it?
Grow a beard the month of March. What is this, like the 5th year we've done it?
Oh, 5th year.
At least?
Yes.
March 1st to March 31st, grow a beard, raise money, social media, however you do it. For every $35 we raise, we supply one child in Muskegon County with books for a year. And there are 6,000 children in Muskegon County of that age right now. And that's kind of the pre-K, so increase their literacy. And then I believe end of March is the always exciting, always thrilling shave off where I've had my beard, I had that monkey tail thing shaved in one time and all these fun things that we can do, but that's going to be at Fetch, I believe, this year.
Fetch Brewery.
And so join us, grow a beard, grow out your armpit hair, I don't care, but raise some money for United Way.
Go to the United Way website and sign up to be a beard champion.
Yep, beard champion. All right.
All right.
Raffle, Frank? Frank? Who's doing raffle? Frank. I'm looking for, there he is. Yeah, she'll get the money. Going for how much, Frank? $5. 4, 2, 3. $10? 522. Done deal. $10 out there. $20. 442. Down front. Kathy. Thank you, Frank. Our program next week will be transportation options for Muskegon County. Where are we going to be meeting at, folks? The Lake House. After the bell, I will play Jackson Brown's Loadout Stay, as many of us mingle, creating that magic of Rotary. It's in honor of our production team of Mike, Kim, Jay, Dennis, and the staff here at the Delta. They all make our weekly gatherings so meaningful. So members and guests, please rise as we recite the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial for all concerned? Let's unite for good. We're adjourned.